How will you react if someone starts to tell you stories of their past life with precise details? 33% of Americans believe in reincarnation, and out of those, only 10% can recall their past life. Reincarnation stories have always had a mystery around them, and some of these mysteries are what people don't believe to be authentic. We are going to talk about 3 people who believed they had lived before and had a past life. But before we know the stories, subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this. The first story is about Ryan from the USA. A 5-year-old boy, Ryan was able to tell stories of his past life. He used to be very frustrated all the time. One evening, he gathered the courage to talk to his mother. He said, "Mom, I have something I need to tell you. I used to be somebody else." His mom was so confused to hear this, and she tried to ignore it. But Ryan was very serious. After a few days, he started complaining about his new life. He used to say, "Mommy, I am homesick." It was so disturbing for his mother that she started discussing it more with Ryan. She wanted to know what was wrong with her son. After his mom started asking questions, Ryan became open to talking about his past life. He told his mom that he lived in Hollywood and had a big house, a pool and many fast cars. His past life was very fabulous. Once he said, "I can't live in these conditions. My last home was much better." His mom, Cindy, later said, "He was like a little old man who couldn't remember all the details of his life. He was so frustrated and sad." He even used to share his stories of meeting with stars like Rita Hayworth. All the stories were very extensive and difficult for a 5-year-old to make up on his own. So, his mom started to search more about Hollywood. One day, she found a magazine. She picked the magazine for Ryan and started to turn pages. As soon as she turned, Ryan stopped her at a picture from the 1932 movie Night After Night. Ryan said in excitement, "That's me. That's who I was." His mother said, "I was shocked. I never thought we would find the person he thought he was." He was pointing to an actor named Mark Martin, and he was not a famous actor. Neither his mother nor Ryan had seen him before. But after some research, everything that Ryan told about Mark Martin was true. Mark Martin has the house, the pool and the cars that Ryan used to talk about. There is no way you can reject Ryan's story about his past life. How could he get all this information about an actor who was not famous? The second story is about David Succombe from England. People are born with a good voice as a gift, but skills are something you learn and are not born with. But in the case of David, it's a completely different story. He was born with the skill of playing piano. He had never gone to any piano lessons, but he could play it amazingly as soon as he got his hands on piano. He could even play piano better than people who have been playing it for years. In his teens, he became a concert pianist. One day he was asked by someone about his lessons. His reply was unbelievable. He answered, "I have no time for them. I have a technique of my own." At a very young age, he figured he was the reincarnation of a German composer and pianist, Franz Liszt. By the age of 21, David became recognized and was able to perform in packed concert halls. He was known as Paganini of piano at that time. In 1952, he got the headlines as the reincarnation of Franz Liszt. As he grew old, he became more obsessed with Franz Liszt. One day, while performing on stage, he stopped in the middle of the performance and started talking about Franz Liszt. His audience was not interested in reincarnation stories. They merely wanted him to play. People booed him and even walked out. Later, when David was asked why he stopped in the middle of his performance, he answered that he experienced the concert as being Franz Liszt, so he could not stop himself from talking about him. He even called the concert a tremendous success. People said that he was mentally ill, but how is it possible to be gifted with a skill? Without getting a single lesson, he became a pianist who is indeed unbelievable. The third reincarnation story is about Sam Tyler. When Sam was 18 months old, he started talking properly. His words were very clear. But one day, he surprised his father when he was changing his diaper. Sam said, "You know, when I was your age, I used to change your diapers." His father smiled at him and thought he had misheard him. But later, he started to say more things that would not make sense to his parents. When he was 4, he was given the family album. Sam was able to point out his grandfather in an old school picture. His father figured out that Sam was acting like his grandfather. One day, his father sat down with Sam and asked him, "How did you come back?" He replied, "I just went whoosh and came out the portal." Expecting such a proper sentence from a kid was strange, so his father started to ask more questions. Sam was happy, sharing his stories because he wanted his family to believe that he was the reincarnation of his grandfather. He was so confident about his stories that his family started asking him more. His father then asked if he had any siblings. On this question, he replied he had a sister. He said, "She turned into a fish." His father asked, "Who turned her into a fish?" "Some bad guys. She died," was Sam's reply. Sam's grandfather had a sister, and someone killed her, and her body was found floating in San Francisco Bay. Sam was never told her story before. His father asked him, "Do you know how you died?" He was not able to answer this question. He slapped the top of his head as if he was in pain. He was born a year after his grandfather died. And whenever the family used to talk about his grandpa, he would say, "You mean me." One day, he said to his mother, "Mom, you know, when we die, we get to come back. I used to be a big man, and now I am a kid." Have you ever come across a person who seems as a reincarnation of someone else? Please like, share and subscribe to our channel to listen to more past life and reincarnation stories. Until the next video, stay tuned.